What's poppin', my J dolls? And I am back for another video, you guys. So I apologize because it's been so long since I made a video, but make sure before I start this video you like, you comment, you subscribe, and ring that bell. All right, y'all, I'm slaying with my hair right now, okay? Oh, period. I'm just feeling myself or whatever. But today this video is going to be about what to know before you move out, or the things you need to know to get your first place. So I'm also going to list down below like my empty apartment tour that I have on this channel, my apartment haul, and my furnished apartment tour. I'm going to list that in the description box below. You guys seem to like these videos, so I'm just gonna get into it. I don't have notes, I'm just gonna go off what I know. So the number one thing I think you need to know before getting your first apartment is your budget. So you always want to think about how much you can afford, what area you're looking at living in, and how much that costs versus the budget you have in mind. What you're expecting, like square footage, how many bedrooms versus your budget, so you can know what's realistic for you. Now let's talk about budget, you guys, because first of all, I didn't move into my first place until I was, I don't even know my age, y'all, until I was freaking 24. Okay, I applied for this place when I was 23, but I didn't get my first place till I was 24. And let me tell you guys, if you do not have to rush, if you're like 18 trying to get out the house and you don't have to go, like you don't have no crazy circumstances going on at home, baby girl, stay home, okay, until you financially are stable where you're not struggling to pay bills every month, because you have to pay, if I could talk, y'all, because you have to pay rent, you got to pay utilities, you got to pay your other bills, and girl, it is not easy at all. So if you have to get out at a young age, that's understandable. People have different family situations where they have to go. Then you have to work with what's in your budget. If you have time, make sure you're saving. That is my number one tip, you guys. Always save, because when you move in your place, you want everything to be smooth. So you guys, I had saved a lot of money. I had lived with my mom, lived on campus. I didn't move out until I was ready, where I had a stable career, a good salary, where I could afford rent, afford all my other bills, and still have money to live. And then also I saved enough where I would have furniture, so that I wouldn't be having to sleep on an air mattress, or, you know, like not have furniture in my living room. And that's totally fine, it happens. I would just suggest, don't get yourself in that situation unless you absolutely have to. Like if you're homeless, or if you're having problems with your family where you have to get out, then do what you gotta do, baby girl. Make it work, period. Anyway, so if you have the opportunity to wait, because what I did, you guys, is I bought all my furniture. I didn't make payments or anything. I bought it and literally had it in my house the day I moved in, and I was so happy, so proud of myself, because I waited so long for this moment. And you guys, what you need to know is, one thing I did do though, so you don't have to pay for furniture all at one time, because furniture is expensive, y'all. For all my furniture, it cost $4,000. That's just the furniture, and I had to buy like TV, you know, I had to buy other stuff, you know. So what I did was plan ahead, you guys. Always plan ahead and buy your furniture, what, like 3 months before you're gonna move in, and just do layaway. Like you can, every furniture place has like where you can pay on it until it's time to move in, but when it's time to move in, it needs to be all paid off. I highly recommend that, because then you don't have an extra bill every month, because some people do finance furniture, which is okay, like if you have no other choice. But remember, when you finance it, you're going to pay for that for a very long time, plus rent, plus utilities, plus everything else you got going on in your life. I didn't want to do that, y'all, because I have real bills, okay? I don't got no kid bills, I got real bills. So I'm like, I'm not trying to have furniture be another bill for like some couple years or whatnot. So think about that when you're thinking about furniture. So that's kind of about your budget part. Always think about, I say, most apartments, which we'll get into later, require 3 times the rent. If you're struggling to hit 3 times the rent, you probably should not live there. And that is a requirement. I think that is good in apartments. It's bad because of this capitalism in America, but it's good because that shows you, will you be struggling? Can you make it here? Will you be able to pay rent on time? You know, because if you can't afford 3 times the rent, you need to look for something a little bit cheaper. If you have a standards of a 1-bedroom, but you can really only afford a studio 3 times the rent, then you need to live in a studio and work your way up if you have to move out. If you don't have to move out, like I said, save and get everything where it's supposed to be, which we'll talk about requirements later. So this is the budget part. I talk too much, I'm sorry y'all, but yeah, just make sure you calculate too before you move in, because I did this for somebody else before and I was right. I'm not gonna say it, but before you move in, you guys, calculate how much your rent would possibly be, how much your utilities will be, approximately whatever, and how much your other bills will be, and how much money you will have a month left over, and how you're going to use that money. Is that your spending money? It should be your spending money. So you should budget where all your bills are coming out, including groceries and everything. And then how much would you have extra for spending bi-weekly, if you get bi-weekly checks, if you get once a week checks, or a month, however you do it. Make a list of your budget. Very important. Do not move into a place without doing that, because you might get yourself in some trouble. Okay, that's kind of how the budgeting part would go. Number 2, you guys, I would say make sure you are committed on your decision. So this is very important. Lord. Somebody always want to talk to me when I'm filming. Like, you don't want to talk to me no other day. But anyways, y'all, make sure you're committed on your decision. Do not make a decision too quick. I don't care if your mama like, you got to get out the house next month. Baby girl, if you got to get out the house next month, you better take a whole week to really analyze these places. Think about what you're looking for. Think about how much the price is. You better, every day of the week, you better be up in there taking tours and really analyzing. Okay, so you want to analyze your options, how much they cost, where they're located, how much space you get. So when you go on these tours, it's very good to be vocal, because y'all, I don't be caring. I'll be like, oh, why does this look like this, or oh, this is outdated, or oh. And this actually has helped my friend, because I said something about a situation, and she said something, and the person updated her appliances, so y'all, for free. So y'all need to be vocal, because there might be something they can change for you for free. So make sure you are analyzing your places, that you're satisfied, and don't just pick anything, y'all. Don't just pick anything, because you're signing a lease, and most people sign a lease for a whole year. So that means you're stuck for a whole year, and if you break that lease, you have to pay for the whole year. Is you dumb? So y'all, make sure that it's what you want to live in for a whole year at least. And it's better to think even ahead of a year, because who likes to move? I hate moving. It is a long process. It is annoying. So you want to analyze that. Another thing you want to do is make sure your neighborhood is where you want to live. So people have different styles of neighborhood. You know, some people like to be in the burbs. Some people like to be in the hood. Some people actually don't mind being in the hood. They really don't care, because they're getting a good deal. They don't mind. They've been around the hood. They know how to move in the hood or whatever. If you ain't never been in the hood before, make sure you don't move in the hood, okay? Because you're not ready, okay? So just make sure you know your neighborhoods. And if you're moving from a different state, just do your research. And what I did, honey, you drive in your neighborhood at night, because you're gonna see what's going on, baby girl. You're gonna see if there's suspicious activities. So yeah, like, before you decide on the place, you guys, do these things, I promise you. So all right, so that is really just making sure you really like the place, you're getting what you paid for, you're satisfied. Another thing, number 3, you guys, make sure when you're deciding on a place, you're looking at utilities. because some places make you pay every utility, which would be like you have to pay lights, you have to pay gas, you got to pay water, you got to pay heat, you got to pay trash. Like you got to pay all those bills on top of your regular bill. And then depending on where you live, if you live in a cold place like me, Minnesota, your gas is probably high as hell and your heat is probably high as hell. So you got to pay all of those bills in your rent and your other bills. So make sure you're looking at what places include utilities, what utilities are included, and what is important to you. Because that's really important, because I'm not paying, honey, when I got my place, only gotta pay light bills. And light bills in Minnesota is cheap as hell. So that's it, that's all. And y'all, do not believe people that work in the office that say, oh, this is approximately how your bill will cost with lights, gas, water, da da da. They don't know. They don't know your usage. They gonna give you the low end. No, baby girl. Also, you guys, watch out for places that rise their prices like every day. If you are looking at an apartment and one day it's one price, the next day it's this price, because I've seen an apartment like that, you watch out, because those type of people probably gonna go up on your rent every year super high, because they fluctuate and they just want to go with whatever is going on around them. So yeah, look out for that. So that's really important. So we already talked about location and everything. Also, you guys, make sure to read your reviews on your apartment, because before you decide, like, okay, you think that you like this place, right? You think you like it, you saw it, everything looks good to you, it's in a good neighborhood, it's in your budget and everything. Read your reviews, probably even before you get that far. Before you go look at the place, read the reviews, okay? Because that's very important. You will learn stuff that you wouldn't know before, like shiesty apartment managers, property managers. There's a lot of those shiesty bitches out there. So y'all need to watch out, because you don't want to live in a place where you have a lot of shiesty property managers, because they'll do anything, and I mean anything, to fuck up your whole time there, or get you into a space that you don't feel that is inviting, or a place you love to live, because they're assholes. So just make sure no one is saying in the comment how bad the property managers are, how bad the property is, how like police are there every night. Y'all just read the reviews, period. So that's very important, y'all. And another thing, I'm sorry y'all, this is not gonna be in no order, but I'll keep it real. You guys, make sure you also look at your freaking property manager and how they're trying to sell you the property. If they're like, oh, okay, y'all, I went to this one freaking property and they're like, oh my god, this is so amazing, this view is just beautiful, and you know what, this is just so fabulous, I love this. Like, bitch, relax, because I'm gonna tell you what I like and what I don't like. Let me analyze. Those type of people, they will sell you anything. They will sell you a penny off the ground. So you need to watch out for them, because they can't be trusted. I just don't like people that try to oversell things. You can tell when someone's genuine and they really like somewhere. Like, for instance, my property manager, I'll ask her questions, she'll have an answer like this. She won't try to make excuses. Like, for instance, one time I went to a property with somebody, and literally we asked a simple question: do you have bugs, rodents, roaches, all that? And she had the nerve to say, well, it depends on how clean you are. So some people do, but they're not clean. Bitch, what? Bitch, who? Girl, roaches spread. They go to other people's houses. You tried it. You tried it. Next. So y'all, make sure you asking them real questions. Those are really good questions to ask you guys. Do you have any rodent problems? Do you have any like bug issues? How's the heat in the winter time? Because that's really important if you live in a cold state. Or do you have like check out your AC if you live in a really hot place. Is it central? Is it like in your living room? Does that matter to you? You gotta pay attention. This is where you're living. You want to love to go home. So yeah, ask some hard questions. Like, if something don't look right, like, oh, what is this? Why is this here? Is this gonna be clean? I'm sorry, y'all, I'm picky. I'm sorry, I'm paying for this. I'm paying a deposit a monthly for a whole year, girl, bye. So yeah, y'all, make sure you are learning your property managers, because I ain't gonna lie, my property manager, she a little snippy, but she cool, but she not like, she don't give no fucks. I don't know how to explain, like, she not one of those trying too hard to be nice, but she not extremely mean. She like in the middle, you know, like I can mess with her because she real, you know. If you fake, if you too nice, you too nice, it's like, what's going on, you know? I like niceness, but like if you don't got no real personality, no realness to you, it's kind of a little weird. And if you too mean, like, why you got an attitude every day? What is wrong with you? I'm giving you money. Anyways, y'all, so like, I'm trying to think. I think those are the main things with getting an apartment, you guys, you need to know. Another thing is, I'm gonna tell you the requirements for apartments and how to get to those requirements, I guess. So requirements for apartments, usually some places do only accept 2 times the rent. Usually those places are not in the suburbs. Let's just be honest, because places in suburbs are really usually expensive and they want you to make 3 times the rent. So you usually have to make 3 times the rent. And that's before taxes, I believe. So that's fine. Like, let's say if your rent is what, $1,000 a year. I mean, a year, bitch, I wish. Let's say your rent is $1,000 a month. You times that by 3. That means you need to make $3,000 a month before taxes. So that's your gross, whatever you make before they take the taxes out. So you have to know, like, can you afford that? And do you have the pay stubs to back it up? You don't just go in. This is for people that have never had an apartment first before this information. You don't just go in and tell them how much you make and they believe it. You gotta bring your pay stubs in, so make sure you ain't lying, you ain't capping, because girl, they really not gonna let you in, right? So you gotta do that, you guys. You have to also pass a background check, so make sure you don't have like no felonies or like something really bad on your background. And if you do, girl, move to the hood until that drops off or something, you know, because they really picky and they won't let you move in. So that's a big one. Another one is your credit. So credit is important with the apartment, but it's not that huge. Like, I wouldn't say it's like you have to have like a 700 to 800. You don't have to be like that high on your credit, but they do look on your credit. So I would probably, if you have like probably lower than a 600, then you might want to look at ways kind of like how to kind of improve that, or you have to have all the other elements to possibly get approved. Obviously that would just depend on the property manager or the property, you know, their standards. But usually if you have 3 times the rent, a good background, good rental history, or if you don't have no rental history at all, like but you have these things in bad credit, you might still get approved, but it's just not 100% chance, which is kind of bad because you have to pay an application fee. So if you have time, try to improve your credit score, or try to get rental, well, yeah, try to improve your credit score. If you don't have time, try to apply and just know that you could probably get denied, but you could probably get approved. You never know. Some properties don't even care. Some properties thirsty as hell, just to let you know. So those are things. Usually when you move into an apartment, you need a deposit. Some places are more expensive. Usually I would say places with cheaper rent are usually more higher on the deposit. Most places with cheaper rent make you pay double the deposit, which is the same amount as your rent 2 times. They crazy. A lot of expensive places usually only charge you like $300 for a deposit, or like $400 or something slight or whatever. Usually they don't do too much. People are getting better at that. And then you also have to have your first month's rent, obviously, when you move in. So that is very important. Another thing is, we're gonna get into the animal part of things. Animals in finding apartments it's critical to listen to this if you have an animal, because if you have a dog or a cat, you can't just move into anywhere. It's going to be a longer process because you have to find what places accept that animal, if they have to be neutered or spayed, if you don't have that animal neutered or spayed yet, if the cat has to be declawed or not declawed. Y'all, it's so much shit. So even if it says it accepts pets, you better call that bitch and ask them what type of pets. What type of pets? What's the requirements? They have to have certain shots. So you gotta make sure you have all the required shots. At most places, you gotta make sure your cat or dog is neutered or spayed. You gotta make sure the claws. Some places make you declaw your cat, some places don't. You gotta make sure you have your deposits, because every place charges a deposit for a pet, which is petty. 2 P's, okay? They make you pay a deposit. They make you pay extra rent for the pet, so that's very important to know. And they also make you pay a pet fee. A lot of them require all 3. Some you might get 2, some you might get all 3, but it's very rare you go get 1. You're gonna have to pay extra on your rent. You're gonna pay a deposit and a pet fee. And you gotta make sure they got all the shots and everything. You have to usually show the records too. So make sure, and then also there's size requirements. I know everything, I guess. There's size requirements, so if your dog is too big, some places might not even take that dog. So you want to do your research in different breeds. If you got a pit bull, some places ain't gonna take that pit. So yeah, this is a lot to know. Let me know if this is helpful, you guys. Leave a comment below. Thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna leave everything linked below for my other apartment tours and apartment videos. And I had fun with this video, so I hope you guys like it. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Bye.